Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Heather here. Today we are going to be doing the Ride or Die tag, which is the tag that was created by Jaclyn Hill, and I will make sure to link her video down below, so you guys should check it out if you haven't already. She came up with a list. I have my list right here. She came up with a list of things that categories she wanted to know what our Ride or Die makeup product is for that category. So we're gonna get started here in just a second, and I will tell you all of my Ride or Die makeup. Okay, so the first category is the primer category, and the primer that I went with was bareMinerals Prime Time. This is one of their really old packaging. I have gone through so many bottles of this stuff. It is a silicone-based primer, so it's got that slick feeling to it, but it really helps minimize my pores, and I do have very oily skin, which I know some people like it for oily skin, some people don't. It kind of depends on your preference, but this stuff makes my makeup stay all day, which is why I keep going back to it. I normally use it in combination with another primer, but this is what I've used longer, so this is what I'm gonna go with, and this is my Ride or Die primer. The next category is foundation, and my Ride or Die foundation is actually from the company Boots No. 7. It is the Beautifully Matte foundation, and it is in, my coloring is Cool Beige. And the reason that I really like this foundation is it does have an SPF in it, but because I do powder my face afterwards, it kind of negates that. So it does give you a little bit of protection, but also the coloring of this just matches my skin the best out of all of the foundations and that I've ever used. So I really like this. It gives me a really silky, smooth texture. It's what I'm wearing right now. I've had it on for quite a while though, so it does wear for a long time, which is really nice. I never have to worry about it getting messed up or patchy. It is just very consistent, very smooth, and I've used it in temperatures that I sweat a lot in, which I know sounds weird, but it lasts through that too. So it's a really good foundation that I use when I need something that I know is going to perform and I know how it's going to perform. So that is my Ride or Die foundation. The next category is concealer. And for me, there are two types of concealer. There's the one that really covers your dark circles, and then there's concealer that you use to brighten. And the one that I'm actually going to go with is by bareMinerals. It is Well Rested. I know some YouTubers like this, some YouTubers like it in the powder form. It really depends, but I prefer the pen form, and you just twist it up and the product comes out the top and you just paint it on. I do use this sometimes in correlation with another concealer, but this is the one that I feel like I could use no matter what, even if I had dark circles, because it does have some minor coverage, but it always brightens, and to me that's a more important thing for the concealer to do under your eyes. So that is why I'm going with this, and this is my Ride or Die concealer. Okay, the next category is face powder, and my Ride or Die face powder is the bareMinerals Original Foundation. I am in Fairly Light, and the reason that I love this stuff is because this is actually the foundation that I used before I went with liquid foundations, and I know that it does give extra coverage. Whenever I put this on top of the foundation that I am wearing, which is the Beautifully Matte by Boots No. 7, it lasts 10 times longer, which for the Beautifully Matte, it doesn't need this, but some foundations do, and I use this as like an extra security blanket almost. So that is one of the reasons that I love it. It is a very finely milled powder, which definitely helps to get into the nooks and crannies, and it sets everything on my face. So that is my Ride or Die face powder. The next one is the under eye setting powder, and I have to say that I have not found one to be what I think is my Ride or Die. However, this one, the one that I'm going to show you, is the one that I use the most often. It does set the under eye, and it's the one that I go to, but I don't know if I would consider it my ride or die. But I'm going to put it in here anyways. It is the NYC Smooth Skin, and it is what I use to set right under my eye and right down the side of my nose. And this does help keep foundations that have a tendency to break up smooth and in place. So that's why I'm saying it's my ride or die. But honestly, there are other powders on the market that I would like to try. So that may change, but if you're looking for something that is affordable and does work, this stuff is great. The next category is blush, and my ride or die blush is actually from the Jaclyn Hill collab with Becca, and it is Amaretto. It is the one in the middle here. Trying not to blind you, the one right there. And it is a apricot kind of blush. And the reason I'm saying that this is my favorite blush is because even though I don't use it on camera a lot, I use it in my personal life all the time. And it's something that I didn't expect to like, and I actually loved. And because of that, I use it all the time. And whenever I need just a little flush, that's what I think of, that's what I reach for. So that is why it's my ride or die, and I highly recommend that if you haven't checked it out, just go to Sephora, give it a swatch. It's something that is pretty unique. I've tried some other apricot blushes, and they just don't do the same thing for me. So if you're looking for a good one, try Amaretto by Becca. I know that right now they're in the split pan, and that it is a limited edition product, so be aware of that, but that is my favorite ride or die blush for right now. Alright, so moving on to the bronzer and contour powders, and this should come as no surprise to anybody who has watched my channel before. My ride or die contour and bronzing powder is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour. This is in the shade medium to deep, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, you're not very dark skinned, but this shade right here is like the perfect shade for my skin color because I use such a light hand. When I do my contour, I find that if I use a light hand with other products and place the product and just the way that I contour, it either doesn't show up or it looks really mucky and muddy on my face. But this does not do that. And I know a lot of people don't use the brush that's in here, but I actually love it. I think this brush is great. I think Too Faced nailed it with this. So be sure to check this out if you have not seen or used it before, because it's great. And my favorite category is the highlight category, and for me this was no contest. I didn't even have to think about it. It is Tarte's Skin Twinkle palette, and yes, I am cheating because I am showing you three, but I don't really use this one in the middle here. But these two, that is what I'm wearing right now. It's like I've got it here and a little bit above my eyebrow, on my nose and on my chin, and this combination of these two, this is Moonlight and Sunlight, the combination of these two is just my perfect highlighting color. It's what I go to. I have a lot of highlighters and I always reach for this. I travel with it. It is honestly, this is my security blanket. Like I could give up most every other makeup product and still want to keep this. This is like the one thing that I would reach for. It too is supposed to be a limited edition thing, and I've even considered going out and buying another one just so I have a backup, even though realistically I'm not going to go through this pan. But it is amazing. Be sure to check it out before it goes away. I cannot say enough good things about it. It is my favorite. The next category is mascara. And the mascara that I'm going to choose is probably something that you've heard of. It's been on the market for a minute, but I have tried so many different mascaras, and honestly, this is the only mascara that I've had that changed the game for me. And it is the IT Cosmetics Tightline Full Lash Lengthening 3-in-1 Eyeliner, Primer, and Mascara. And I get the travel size because I am terrified of wasting product, so I just pick up the travel size. But honestly, I mean, I have no problem using it up. It's great to travel with. And the wand, can we just take a minute and like appreciate this wand for a second? Because it is so thin and it makes it so easy to get into that lower lash line and even on the upper lash line with tight lining. It is just perfection in a tube, and that is why it is my ride or die mascara. Now we are getting into the lip categories, and the first one is lipstick. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't generally wear lipstick, lip gloss, really anything on my lips other than chapstick in my everyday life. So these categories were a bit unusual for me. I wear stuff in my tutorials and I do stuff in the videos that I do online, but generally speaking, I don't reach for this stuff in my everyday life. So when I thought about my favorite lipstick, I had to go with the bareMinerals, and I know there's a lot of bareMinerals in this ride or die tag for me, but that's actually the company that I first really started shopping with, so I have a lot of their stuff. But this is their Marvelous Moxie lipstick in Raise the Bar, and it looks like this. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's a little bit of a maroony dark red. It's kind of like a wine color on the lips, and it's just so comfortable to wear, which is why I go with this. It isn't super long lasting, I'll be honest about that, but I find that it's worth it because when it wears off evenly and it's not hard to reapply. So I just keep it in my purse, and this is what I use when I use a lipstick. For the liquid lipstick, I am breaking the rules. I have one liquid lipstick, and it is by Jeffree Star's Cosmetics. I adore it. It is a wonderful color. It is the shade Watermelon Soda, but I just got it. And so, to quote Tati, we're dating right now. So I'm not ready to fully commit. I'm getting there, but I'm not ready yet. So instead of a liquid lipstick, I'm actually going to go with a stain, which is kind of similar in my mind to a liquid lipstick, because a lot of times liquid lipsticks are just that. They stain your lips, so that way, even as they wear down, the color is still there. So I am going with the Revlon Matte Balm, and it is in the shade 220 Showy Flamboyant. It looks like this. It's like a little crayon, and you just twist it up. And I love to pair this with the Rimmel Exaggerated Lip Liner in number 70 Enchantment. And the reason that I love these two together is that this is a little dark on me, this is a little bright on me, but when I put them together, they are an awesome combination. The perfect color for every day, the perfect color to just dress up a look just a little bit, and they last forever because the one is a stain and then the lip liner is just a long wearing lip liner. So this combination together is my favorite. It's actually what I reach for in my everyday life. If I'm gonna have to wear something, it's what I wore to the wedding, and I just really like it. So make sure to check these two out. Alright, and to wrap up the lips, we have a gloss. And my favorite gloss is the Rimmel Stay Glossy in Savory Plum. This is the shade. I will swatch it for you. It is very sheer. I will be honest about this too. It does have kind of a sticky consistency, but frankly, that doesn't really bother me. I like it because of the shade that it is and the shimmers that are in it. It makes my lips look really juicy and full. So if I'm going to go for a liquid or like a juicy look or a gloss, this is what I reach for. And frankly, I'm pretty sure I was going through my liquid lips, lip gloss category looking, and I'm pretty sure this is the only thing that I have that is actually technically a gloss. Most of them are like matte glosses, but I don't really consider that a gloss when I'm thinking about it. I think of that as more of a liquid lipstick, even though it doesn't technically fall into that category. So obviously I love it because it's the only one I have and it's the only one I reach for. So this, and I almost dropped it, this is my go-to Ride or Die gloss. The next category that I have is lashes, and I actually don't have a lash pair for you guys, and this is kind of a disclaimer that I'm putting out there because I know a lot of YouTubers tend to use lashes. I don't use lashes, and there's a reason for that. I do have a very strong latex allergy, and most of the lash glues on the market have latex in them. I know there are some that don't, but they are higher end, and I would feel really uncomfortable, especially since I do a lot of affordable looks, using higher end products in that. And the reality is I have to, like, that's what I have to do if I'm going to use lashes. So I tend to just stick with the natural eyes and the mascara. If I need voluminous lashes, I just pack on the mascara. I have pretty healthy lashes as is, and they are fairly long, so I don't really feel a need to compensate for that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it's not something that I haven't noticed. It's just for health reasons, I choose to not use lashes. And if you're looking for that, I'm really sorry. You probably won't see me wear them. I know that I do want to have some guests on my show. Maybe I can talk some of them into wearing them, but personally, it's just not in the cards for me. And I'm okay with that. I hope that you guys still like what I do and know that every look that I do can be paired nicely with a pair of false lashes, and it's gonna look wonderful no matter what. I just can't do that. So with that, we will move on to the next category. All right, eyeshadow palettes. This one was hard. I love Too Faced. Like, frankly, it was one of those things where I wanted to sit there and be like, do I have to pick a specific palette? Can't I just pick a brand? Because honestly, I would use any eyeshadow. I have yet to find one that doesn't work for me. And I know a lot of people, when they look at Too Faced and their eyeshadow palettes, they think, well, the chocolate bar. I get it. I don't own the chocolate bar, and that might come as a shock. I actually bought what I thought was a chocolate bar palette online, but it turned out to be a knockoff, and I just haven't repurchased a real chocolate bar. So when it comes down to it, my Ride or Die palette is actually the semi-sweet chocolate bar. I love the smell of this. I love the colors that are involved. I love that you have these warm tones, and you've got this black up here in the corner, which is perfect. And you do have like your pop of color. And I mean, I know a lot of people were disappointed in this one, but frankly, I have not used a single shadow from this palette that wasn't amazing, at least for me. Whenever I want to do a smoky eye or even just a regular look, I reach for this because I know that I can't go wrong with it. It is just, it has everything in it that I need, and that's why I travel with it. I use it almost every day, and that makes it my Ride or Die. The setting spray category. Let's take a minute and venture with me. For setting spray, there are two things that are super important. There is the setting spray, the product itself. Does it make your makeup last? Does it make your makeup sticky? Like, what purpose does it serve in your routine? And then there is the bottle. And if you have ever used a setting spray, you know what I'm talking about. So for me, when I looked at this category, I thought, well, what is my Ride or Die? Like, what do I use? The one I use the most is probably Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray, but that's not really my favorite. The reason I use it the most is because the bottle is great and the spray is great, but if I'm looking for something that actually makes my makeup last, the thing that works the best for me, and this is going to come as a shock, I'm sure, is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. Now, this bottle, I'm sorry, it's crap. Like, I need to find a new bottle for it. And honestly, I would spend the money to invest in a good bottle with a good nozzle and a good spray and just keep refilling it with this stuff. Because let's see if you can kind of see, like it doesn't mist it. It like monsoons it onto you. And sometimes it's not a monsoon. Sometimes it's like, I'm gonna squirt you in the eye with just a straight jet. You know, neither one preferable. But if I'm really like in a pinch and I need something that is going to last all day long, I will take the minute to, you know, work with the bottle and hold it, because if you hold it far enough away, then you can kind of like gauge if you need to lean in a little bit more and, you know, work with it. And this is what I use to make it last, because I know that this stuff works. I actually have extra bottles of these laying around, several of them, and like I said, it's worth it for the product that's inside, but it's totally worth the investment to find a different bottle. So take it for what you will. Maybe that's too high maintenance for you, and I totally understand. I would say the Urban Decay Chill Setting Spray is amazing as well, but I just find that this makes my makeup last longer. Alright, and Jaclyn's final category was perfume. And I've got to be honest with you, I am not a perfume connoisseur. For every day, my favorite scent, my ride or die, and has come to be my ride or die, honestly, within like the last week, is the Amazing Grace by Philosophy. The bottle is super simplistic, which is fine by me. With this, it is the scent. It is very sweet. It's kind of florally. I will make sure to put the notes of it down below in the description bar, because it's my favorite. It's just very light, and it makes me feel very feminine. And honestly, it reminds me of my honeymoon, which is silly because I didn't wear it on my honeymoon. And where we went, we actually went to Sandals in Jamaica, and they had a very specific scent. And I asked my husband, and he's like, no, I don't think that's it. But now when he smells it, he thinks of our honeymoon too. So it's kind of like a scent by association, kind of. But we both just really like this one, and so it's become my ride or die. And for that wraps up our ride or die tag from Jaclyn. But she did challenge us that if we wanted to, we could add another category. So I'm going to. And my category that I'm going to add is eyebrow stuff. And the reason I am adding eyebrow stuff is because I've tried the pencil eyebrows and it doesn't work for me. Like, I don't know why. I cannot figure it out. I just can't do it. I've had lessons. I've done everything I can. I've watched millions of YouTube videos, and it doesn't seem to matter. I cannot figure it out. So for me, I actually found my ride or die a couple months ago, and it is the Rimmel London Brow This Way, and this is in medium brown. It's the second darkest shade that they have, and it comes with the little tools. And actually I do use these, which I know most people wouldn't, you wouldn't think to, but they're actually pretty decent. And I just use the powder. I don't even use the pomade that's in, or like the waxy stuff over here, because I just don't need to. I use their brow gel to kind of set it, but that's all I do for my brows, and frankly, it works for me. It lasts all day. I know that it's a pretty simple brow routine, and most people are like, I spend 20 minutes doing my brows and they look sculpted and they're perfect, and they are. They look great. Mine, I think it was Kathleen Lights that said, brows are meant to be friends, or brows are meant to be cousins, not twins. Yep, that sums up my brows. They're not identical. They're not perfect. And I'm okay with that. I like them more natural, and that is what this does for me. So that's why I really like it. It is my ride or die brow product, And I hope that that kind of helps you guys if you're looking and struggling with the pencils, to give you a little bit of an idea for another opportunity. All right, guys, so that sums up this Ride or Die tag, and I hope that you found it interesting. If you did, make sure to give it a like with that thumbs up button and subscribe down below, so that way you don't miss any of our upcoming videos that are on my channel. And I hope to see you guys again very soon. Bye, guys.